Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations and help support all of our 80 plus chapters that we have here in the Valley. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition of Wisdom Wednesday. Make sure to record one chapter education unit for watching. So, I can't believe that the holidays are here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I know that many chapters are taking, I think every chapter, I should reword that, every chapter is taking off next week. So this is the perfect opportunity, guys, to make sure to get in those one-to-ones. Also, make sure to go through all of your activity from the past year. Make sure to get everything logged. Now, if your chapter already had the last active meeting for this month, that means your PALMS report is closed for the month. Yes, it's only the 20th, but everything is based off of the active meetings in BNI Connect. So when chapters take off on weeks, those weeks don't include activity. So what happens in the system is we mark them as if no meeting is happening, so that way visitors can't register for those dates. But then on the back end, what happens is that there is zero activity logged for the dates that you guys are not meeting. It all gets shifted to the next active meeting in the system. So if your next meeting is in January will be a really great month as far as participation, because everyone usually at the last couple weeks of December, because they may have some time off from their meeting, usually go through and just double check everything, make sure that they've entered all of their activity, and then January is just, it blows up. So it's the perfect opportunity to take some time, really review everything that has come in from BNI, make sure all your referrals are in there. Also, I've been getting the question a lot of thank you for closed business. So with thank you for closed business, there is two ways to log thank you for closed business. The first way is when you receive a referral, you can update the status of the referral that you got the business. When you mark that you've got the business, it will then transition you into the thank you for closed business slip automatically for you then to enter in that thank you for closed business. Now, what's confusing for some members is when you mark got the business, it does send the member that sent you a referral a status update on the referral. So zero people can see how much thank you for closed business is submitted except for the person that submits the thank you for closed business. The notification is not really a notification of the thank you for closed business. It's more of just the referral status update. Because someone can, in essence, go in and update the referral status and not go through with the thank you for closed business slip on the back end, and it still will update the referral. So we want to make sure that we're getting all of that thank you for closed business in. Now, the other way to do it is if you go into your slips in the BNI Connect app or even online to submit a thank you for closed business slip, that will not update the status of a referral. So one of the great things about that is when you're submitting that thank you for closed business, let's say it's ongoing business, you're going to submit that thank you for closed business as a separate slip. You're not going to keep going into the same referral to keep entering in thank you for closed business, because a referral is based on a relationship. So each referral is based on a relationship. For example, if I was having monthly pest control service, I wouldn't submit a referral for every single month that they come out. It only counts as one referral because it's one set activity and it's on one relationship myself. But what happens on the back end is that pest control person is going to submit the ongoing thank you for closed business. So only one referral, but multiple thank you for closed business slips on the back end. So we want to make sure that we're logging all of that information. When we're logging thank you for closed business, there are a couple additional options at the bottom of the member drop-down menus. So at the end of the member, especially if you have a lot of members in that drop-down menu, right, you may not have noticed the two that are at the bottom. One is thank you to BNI, and the other one is thank you to visitor. Now, when you thank BNI, so let's say you're thanking a past BNI member that's no longer in BNI for continued business, when you mark that, it still counts towards your chapter numbers. That's another question that I get a lot too, is when they mark thank you for closed business to BNI, does that still count towards chapter numbers, or does it go into like some BNI cloud of thank you for closed business? And it does still count towards your own chapter's thank you for closed business. On the PALMS report, if you look all the way down at the bottom, there's actually 2 separate additional rows, one for BNI and one for visitors. So when we're marking that thank you for closed business that we received from past BNI members, or let's say a visitor visited your chapter and they passed you business, we want to make sure to log that thank you for closed business as well as a thank you to visitor. That's how we get all of the statistics saying that on average a visitor passes about $1,500 worth of business. Now, I think that number is extremely low because I don't think enough people are marking the thank you for closed business for visitors, and especially past BNI members. So make sure to be mindful of that as referrals come in, to mark those 2 additional options if it's not someone that is in your chapter or another chapter. Now, if you receive closed business from cross chapter, next to the member dropdown will be the magnifying glass that you can click to search the member from another chapter, whether it's here in Arizona, different states, or even different countries, which is pretty cool. The key with that, again, I know I've touched on it a couple times in past Wisdom Wednesdays, but the key is to type in a couple letters of their first and last name. So that way, if you spell it incorrectly, it won't give you similar matches. So you want to make sure that the information in there is correct, so that we can find that BNI member to send them the thank you for closed business. Because the best way to thank a member that has passed you a referral is to submit that thank you for closed business. Now, if you as a member have passed a referral to another member and maybe you didn't see a referral status update and you don't know if they submitted a thank you for closed business, the best way to check on that is just to connect with that member and ask them. Because unfortunately, no one can see thank you for closed business totals. Not even myself with regional access. I can't see any thank you for closed business slips, guys. When the vice presidents pull their report, there is a report on the back end to where they can see different activity, but the thank you for closed business slips still only say who was thanked, not who submitted it. So I think sometimes people look at the PALMS report and they assume that the numbers in that thank you for closed business column is the amount that members are receiving, but that's not the case. So that thank you for closed business numbers are always the amount that members have passed to another member, because we're all about givers gain, right? So you as the individual member are the only ones that can see how much you personally have earned from those BNI referrals. So if you want to share that information, I know that several members during Thank You for Closed Business sections have talked about how much business that they've received from BNI referrals as a thank you. That's totally up to you, but there's a lot of professions that like to keep that information confidential, which is why you can't see that information. So I get that question a lot, asking if I can see that information, and I can't. It's all confidential, guys. So want to make sure, again, we're logging all the information. Use this holiday time to follow up on all of that information from the past year. See if there's any referrals that you may have missed a follow-up on, and then get all of that Thank You for Closed Business logged. Have one-to-ones, guys, with members of your own chapter or cross chapters to continue to build those relationships. And I would also recommend visiting other chapters. Now, right now, depending on if your chapter is taking off next week or next week and the following week, if you plan to visit other chapters, make sure that you go in and register first. Because we do have the opportunity to mark in BNI Connect that if a chapter isn't meeting, but just in case it's missed, that they didn't mark it as a holiday, we want to make sure that you're registering so that way the leadership and visitor host can reach out to you ahead of time to let you know if there's any changes to the schedule, because that's going to be important. And you never want to show up to a location to where no one's there. That's never a good sign. So leadership teams and visitor hosts, make sure to watch your emails for those visitor registrations. If you notice that the date is on a day that you are either not meeting or you're at a different location, make sure to communicate that information with the visitor so that way they don't show up to a location where no one is at, and because that's less visibility for the chapter members, and we always want to make sure that everyone has a positive experience when they're attempting or visiting a BNI chapter around the Valley. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition. This one is the last one of the year. How exciting. So I will not have Wisdom Wednesday for next week, but I will resume the first week of January. So taking the week off next week. So I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Enjoy your time with your family, friends, all of that fun stuff. I appreciate all of your support throughout this year and watching these Wisdom Wednesdays, sharing it with your chapter members. Make sure if you have questions or have topics that you want me to cover in the new year, send them over to me. You can email me the information, Kristen@bniarizona.com, and I can add them to the list of topics to cover in the new year. So I appreciate you all for always supporting these Wisdom Wednesday videos. I've been doing them every week for the past 5 to 6 years. So it's been a while since we've been going with these Wisdom Wednesdays, and I absolutely love them. So I'm glad that you all enjoy them as well. Looking forward to visiting more and more of the chapters in this upcoming year as well, especially since I now oversee the East Valley chapters too. So I'm making my rounds to visit all of you guys. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the new year again. If you need any help, support, have any questions, make sure to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing one, and we'll see you next year.